Just a quick one before we dive in. I've just opened up 2 brand new ways to work with me. If you're an established beauty professional who's ready to increase your revenue, either in your clinic or by moving into the online mentoring and educational space, you can join me for a 2-month container where we build and validate your first online offer or your next big move. Or if you're ready to go all in, there is a 7-month private mentorship where we build, launch and scale your new revenue stream together. If you're not sure which one's right for you, I'm offering a handful of free business clarity calls, quick and powerful to map out your fastest path and to see which container fits best. Just DM me the word revenue on Instagram or check the link in the show notes and email me. Let's get into the episode.
Welcome to the Beauty Build podcast with me, Zara King. As a coach for beauty pros, it is my mission to help you earn more, work less, and create an unstoppable mindset. This is the show where we explore all of that. So whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting your beauty business, this podcast is for you. So sit back, relax, and join us on the journey. And for more, get yourself inside my private community, The Beauty Build on Facebook.
Hello, you gorgeous human you, and welcome back to another episode of the Beauty Build podcast. I am Zara King. If you don't know me, we are about to have a very real conversation about being in this gorgeous beauty industry and trying to grow your business in it. I've been in this industry for 14 years and I am a beauty business coach. I am able to help you get to where you want to be in this industry. But today we're about to have a conversation that is very real and will probably have you feeling a certain way inside. Just before we get into the episode as well, I just want you to know I do have a little bit of a cold, so if the audio sounds a little bit off, that is just, if my voice sounds a little bit off, should I say, that is just this cold. And I've been really lucky actually this year so far, or I feel like for a couple of years, I haven't had any times where I've been so poorly that I couldn't get out of bed or anything like that. And this is probably the first time that a cold has got me in the last couple of years, to the point that it is annoying me. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, I thank God for that. So I've got a cup of tea in my hand. I might take a few breaks, but that is absolutely fine. So I know that a lot of you listening to this, and I know a lot of people in my world, feel like you're doing absolutely everything. You are posting on social media to grow your business. You're learning. You're trying to consume free content. You might be learning from a membership. You might be learning from people just, that post things that are slightly ahead of you or where you want to be. You're trying to read books. Maybe you're on YouTube quite a lot, or maybe you're learning more skill side of things as well, because that's quite a common thing. And I just know that you feel like you're doing so much and you're trying so hard to do the right things, and yet the business feels like it's not growing, or that it is growing maybe slightly but at a really slow pace, like a snail's pace. So this episode is for you, and by the end of it you will feel a little bit lighter and a bit clearer, because I'm not just going to give you fluffy stuff. I'm going to give you some bits that you can take away, some tangible tips, but you'll actually understand what is going on. I want you to understand what's going on underneath this kind of, slow growth. So let's get into it, shall we? The first thing I want to do is name some of the things that you probably don't tell yourself, or you don't say out loud, or maybe you've not put your finger on it yet. Normally, you're working so hard, but you have inconsistent income. And you probably haven't named it yet as that. Maybe you're saying things like, I just don't have enough clients still, or the diary's up and down still, it's busy, then it's not. That maybe you're blaming the economy. Maybe you say things like, it's a quiet time. And maybe other people online validate you in that, and they say, it is a quiet time. I've been there and it's normal. Don't worry, it takes time. And so that doesn't really help the situation. And maybe you haven't named it as, I'm having inconsistent income. The other thing is, you show up on these social medias. You might be on Facebook, maybe you're on TikTok, maybe you're on Instagram. I feel like one of the biggest platforms for beauty business owners that are typically who I help are self-employed, maybe with a couple of people, but generally on their own, from home, or the most common is actually from home, by the way, or renting a space. That's the sort of second thing. Whether that be in a salon or not, that varies. But most of you are posting on Instagram. That's how I feel. That's the commonalities. But you feel completely invisible. And maybe you've not said that. Maybe you keep blaming the algorithm. But you feel like you've tried everything. You feel like you've done the reels. Maybe you've even started looking at different ways of organising yourself, and you've got the planners out and you're writing notes down all the time and going through people's carousels and saving them. You know, I reckon you've probably got a full saved folder of gorgeously Canva templated carousels that look stunning and give you some free advice, and you've saved it, and maybe you've written it down, and maybe you've tried it once, but let's be honest, that is probably just a waste of your time because you've not come back to it. And you do want more clients, but obviously you really don't know where the next one is coming from. So you're invisible, and that's the issue. So that's it. And the thing is, you probably think, is something wrong with me? Is something, is it me? Can I not do this? Because other people do seem to be growing a little bit faster than you. You see people online, you think that they are fully booked, and maybe they are. You see them making a bit more money than you maybe. It looks like they're spending money more. It looks like they've got some secret sauce, and you've never been given it. And I just want to stop you, because there isn't a secret sauce, and there isn't anything wrong with you. Nothing is missing from you. And it's not that you're not even behind. And I know this is so cliche and people say this, and I hate it when people say you're not behind, you're right where you want to be. But it's the truth. You're exactly where you're supposed to be at any given time in this life. And I wholeheartedly believe that. And it's not that you don't have the skill, because clearly you do. If you have, let me caveat that actually, because some people in this industry don't have the good enough skills to make a very successful business. And I'm completely honest about that. I think that you can tell if you need to increase your skill level. But the people in my world tend not to need to increase their skill level. You tend to be fine. So it's not your skill, it's not the talent, it's not that. It's that you don't have any structure and you don't have the right systems, and that is literally it. That is it. Nobody has taught you the business foundations, and that's it. No one taught you how to position yourself in the marketplace. No one taught you how to build demand, create consistency, lead yourself in this business confidently and show up confidently without having to hide who you really are, showing up as your true, authentic self. No one taught you any of that, because when we go and train, we don't get taught the business side of things. I was having a conversation with a beauty professional the other day, and she's done a couple of courses recently, and this is in and around London, and every time she's gone on one of these courses, we've had a chat, and I said, did they mention price? She said no. I'm like, I thought that the industry was getting better. I thought it was changing. I thought we were getting somewhere. Clearly only in a very small place, because obviously I surround myself with that. I surround myself with the people that want to uplift this industry, that want to bring new people into this industry with the best toolkit, all of those things. But clearly not. She's gone on these courses and they haven't even mentioned price, let alone running this as a business. And what does also prick my ears up and make me interested was that when we speak about, who was on the course with you, was it a great course? How was it? There's loads of people that are on there that are coming into this industry brand new. She's been in it for decades. Brand new, and starting it because they're on maternity leave. They want something on the side. And do you know what? It would have been so great for the course leader to discuss running it like a business anyway, because people like that bring down the industry, and that's why we have these issues. I've spoken about this openly before. If you're new here, I ran my beauty business mobile for 4 years alongside my corporate sales career. And then I went into salon for 2 years, and it was a family-based salon. My brother-in-law opened a salon. He wanted me to run it with him, so I did. And I trained up all of the beauty professionals in there with him, well, with myself, to be fair. And it was really good. And I saw people coming straight out of college with no clue of what they were doing, let alone how to like deal with pricing and anything else. And it's still happening now. And anyway, my point is, I did that alongside corporate sales until I quit my full-time job and decided to go full throttle beauty business from home on my own, to be more present with the kids and everything. And it does really ruin the industry because these people don't take it seriously. I mean, when I was mobile, I didn't need the money. Not that I didn't earn money, obviously I did, but I wasn't in a massive profit because I hadn't worked it out properly, because I didn't know the business side of it. And that's why this industry does get brought down, especially in the UK where there's less legislation around it. Anyway, I digress, but no one's teaching this still. And it was an eye-opener for me when I spoke to her, because I thought, wow, I thought in 2025, when you go on courses, they are touching on these things. But of course, it's because I surround myself with the people that do that. But there's a lot of people out there that don't do that still. And so I know that no one's taught you how to do all of this. And so you're trying to run a business with, a bit of social media here and there, not any real strategy. And of course, it's going to feel hard. It's going to feel like you've got the world on your shoulders because you're trying to juggle everything and run this business and get it to grow, but it's not going to grow. So I want to break it down for you in a way I've broken it down for clients, because the reason you are feeling stuck is just because of these foundations, right? So you could be amazing at what you do. And I'm probably, I'm absolutely sure that you are, but the positioning isn't dialed in. So you're blending in with everybody else. You probably sound like everybody else. The content is good, but it's not communicating the actual value to the ideal client. Maybe you've never done an ideal client avatar, or maybe you have, but you've not gone specific enough. Okay, so the first thing is you're probably sounding like everyone else. The second thing is there's probably no selling systems. So you're probably not selling at all. You're not asking for the sale. You're not promoting yourself nearly as much as you should be. Anywhere near as much as you should be, I can bet. You're probably, and that's why you're quiet one week and then you're busy the next, and you feel a little bit overwhelmed because it's like, my goodness. And when you're busy, you forget to sell because you're busy with clients. And so the next week does feel quiet because what you do now has a knock-on effect to the results later on. So that's the second thing. It's like you haven't built this selling system. And so therefore, if you don't have a selling system, the business hasn't got a plan. And you can just get into this panic mode, right? And hoping as well. Hope is massive. People just post, they hope. And that's the strategy. It's the post, and I'm just going to put that out there and hope for the best. But that's it. So there's none of that. So then there's this whole visibility problem, because we're not positioned properly and we're not selling properly. So visibility is a real issue. And if you're not attracting your ideal clients and actually having a way of bringing them into being a client and converting them, like that is what that is called. If you bring somebody into your world and then you get them into your books and they become a client, you have converted them into a client. And this is what I teach. So it's showing you how to actually post to attract the right people, selling to them and educating them on why to come to you, why you're the best, why you're the person for that specific ideal client, what the benefit is of having your treatments for that ideal client, and converting them into a paying client. This is what I teach. So we want you to be doing that. We want you to be showing up in a way that leads people through that and gets them into this process, and we convert them. That is what it's called. It's called conversions. And there is, in the membership actually, there's a brilliant training called Understanding Your Conversions, your sales conversions. And that is what we do together. And then what I want you to know is that on top of all of this, right, on top of the stuff that sounds like strategy, I mean, it's all strategy, let's be honest. A strategy is just a bloody good plan put into practice and executed properly. This is strategy. Everything can be strategized. But there's this middle part that I really want you to address as well, and that's I say middle. I like to do selling first because it gets results fast. But some people have deeper issues with these parts that I'm about to talk about. And that is your mindset, your identity, and your energy. And it's the inner stuff that you probably don't even admit to yourself or don't want to admit out loud, because it's the vulnerable stuff that you have to work on. And this is the part where 2 of my clients can get different results, and they're actually implementing a very similar strategy. But they'll get 2 different results because of their identity and the way they see themselves, because of their mindset, because of the energy that they hold around themselves daily. So all of this stuff is when it comes to, like, I'll give you some examples for the basis of this conversation. You know, these things come up in ways like you're too scared to put your face on your stories, for example. You're scared to increase your prices. And you make excuses. And you go, well, I did a price increase in April. Okay. You will be scared to actually say what you want to say and call yourself the expert in a certain field. Because in case somebody sees that you went to school with and laughs at you or thinks, who are you to say that? Or maybe your family go to you, oh, well, how many bookings have you got? Is it actually worth it? And that sets you off. It's the things where it's quite vulnerable because you're scared of the judgment, scared of what people might say online, scared of what people will say in your family, friends, social settings, because we can be different people, can't we, when we're growing a business online and when we're in our home comforts. If you came to my house for dinner, you'd get the same Zara, but you'd see the very different side to me as well, that is me with my children and me with my family and me with my loved ones. So there's those things that come up and we get scared of being judged because it's different. And it's because it's public as well. And that's part of success, is being able to go, okay, I'm going to be embarrassed. There was a quote once, and I have no idea who said it first, but it's, humiliation is the price of entry. You've got to actually be okay with going, I'm going to fail publicly. I'm going to do it anyway. So there's that piece of this as well. And then there's the whole scaling and doing these things properly to grow a business. This is exactly, I'm breaking it down to you. This is exactly what I teach my clients, right? Scaling simplicity. So it's a case of you're probably doing everything yourself. And you're probably doing everything manually. If you're finding that maybe you feel like you're on the cusp of growth. I know a lot of you feel this way. You're like, I know there's like something straight over this hill here, but I can't seem to tap in. Maybe there's things that you need to audit and stop doing manually. It's good to have things that you memorize. It's good to have things living in your head. It's good to understand everything and try and, know what's what in your business. But it's probably overwhelming you. So you're probably not focusing on the needle movers. You're probably focusing on the things that don't move the needle because you're doing everything yourself, and you need to actually scale and try to simplify things. And this is what we do when we work together. It's simplifying systems so that you can focus on the needle movers and scale the business. And this is like a whole cycle. We go back over these things when the growth happens, and then we might need to tap into the visibility again, and then we tap into new identity and energetics because you've changed and things have grown, and then we go back through these things. But those are the things that if they're not dialed in and stable and strategized, those are the things that are stopping you from growing. So just to recap that, what I teach, what I go through with clients is knowing where you position yourself in this market. Stop blending in. Stop sounding like everyone else. You have to position yourself in a place of, this is me, this is the business, this is what we stand for, this is the value. And that isn't, by the way, this isn't just on social media. I know when you listen to podcasts and things, even in this day and age, everybody directs their attention to social media very quickly. We always think that's the solution. We're talking about it all the time. But positioning power is actually coming through in all of the ways that you position your business. It's what you stand for. It's where your branding comes in. It's where your policies and what you accept. It's all of that. It's the price position. All of that, your positioning in this market is much bigger than social media. I just want to touch on that before I go off to the next one. The next one to recap was selling. You're probably not selling, and you probably don't have anything systemized. And then it's the visibility, because those two have a knock-on effect with your visibility. And actually getting in front of the right clients in the right way, showing up to actually convert people. And then it's your identity and your mindset work, your energetics. And lastly, scaling, like we just spoke about, just scaling everything simply. Because we want to have something that will last and feel good. You're not going to feel fulfilled if you're doing this thing and it doesn't feel good. Like one day you're going to quit if it doesn't feel good. So we want to scale simplicity. We want to do things like get everything on a system. We want to do things like automation. We want to be able to delegate. We want you to have some free time in your life. So, to take away today, I want you to know, I'm not sitting here and saying to you, you have to post more. It's not about changing your services, it's not and doing more services. You know what? You could probably do better on less services. You could probably scale your business quicker on less services. It's not trying to be on every single platform either. I really want to bring you away from the whole, you've just got to post more, show up more. I want to bring you away from that, which is why I thought today, let me take you through the sort of 5 things that I really do teach. So if there's any of you listen to this with a pen and paper, write this down. These are the things that will create you faster growth, consistent growth, and it can change things quickly for you in your business. So, number 1, get your clarity on who you serve and why you stand out, why you're different. Number 2, do simplify your menu and do think about raising your standards, your prices, your minimums. Think about that. Number 3, get a consistent visibility strategy in place and stop copying everyone else. Number 4, work on your energy. Work on your identity and your mindset daily. If you miss this, your results would just be completely off. And that's why I hold people's hands through this, because it's not that easy to build that consistent visibility strategy without falling off. It's not. It's not so easy to simplify your offers and menus and prices and sort everything out in your business and know your numbers without feeling a bit off and needing someone to hold your hand through that. And we want you to be the person that you are aspiring to be. We want you to be her now. And it can be difficult. Number 5, put some systems in place so that the business can run even without you having to do everything manually. You want certain things to keep ticking, certain things to keep moving. And those things will change things for you. It will change everything. You won't feel like you've constantly got to keep chasing clients. The inconsistent income will get more consistent. And then that stops you having that panic attack every month. Like, where's the income coming from? What am I doing next? And you will start to attract the right people, because if you can really work on clarity, your messaging will make more sense. Your messaging will speak to people better. And this is honestly the work that I do with people every single day. And I love it. This is when we work together, there's no questioning, okay, well, who is the ideal client then? And how do I do this? And can I have more than one? These questions are answered for you. All of these things are all answered for you. So if you've listened to it and you thought, oh my God, this is literally me, then obviously your next step is very simple. Get into my world a little bit deeper. reach out to me. There are links in the show notes. You can follow me on social media. You can tap on links. You can get into my programs. And we can actually take you from where you are to where you want to be. But even just being here, listening to this and learning and becoming a bit more self-aware and a bit more aware of the business and the steps that you should really have, that's the first step anyway, to finally building this business that you absolutely deserve to have. If you start to implement what you listen to, if you start to implement what you learn, then you will see shifts in your business. And I think that's a really good place to leave it. So thank you so much for tuning in today. And if you loved this episode, if something hits you, if something gives you an aha moment, please take a screenshot, pop it on your stories and tag me. I love to see who's listening. But for now, I will see you on the next one.
Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed today's episode and gained valuable insights that will help you in your beauty business and life. If you did, please take a screenshot and tag me in your stories. If you've got any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out to me on any of my socials. The links are always in the descriptions. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and leave us a review. Your feedback helps us improve and bring you more and more great content. Until next time, keep building that business.